In November 2009, a police officer pulled over a teenager on a rural highway in northern British Columbia. The kid was covered in blood. He said he'd been hunting. He was 19 years old. He had a bright smile, a hockey jersey, and a girlfriend who loved him. His parents were proud. His coaches called him a natural leader. Within 48 hours, he would confess to 4 murders. This is Dark Reflex. Cody Legebokoff grew up in Fort St. John, a small oil town in northeastern British Columbia. Population around 20,000. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, where your reputation follows you from elementary school all the way to graduation. Cody was the golden boy, star athlete, good grades, popular, the type of kid parents pointed to and said, "That's what you want your son to be." He played hockey at a high level. Scouts were watching. He had a steady girlfriend. His family was well liked in the community. There were no red flags, no troubled childhood, no abuse, no poverty, no trauma anyone could point to. His home life was stable and loving. By every visible measure, Cody Legebokoff was exactly who he appeared to be. That's what makes this case so difficult to process. The first murder happened in September 2009. The victim was Lacey Gall, 15 years old. She went missing after a party. Her body was found in a field outside town. She had been beaten to death. The investigation had no immediate suspects. No one connected it to Cody. He continued going to school. He continued playing hockey. He showed up to practice the week after Lacey's body was found. His teammates noticed nothing different about him. Weeks later, a couple went missing. Lyle and Marie McCann, both in their 50s, were driving through the area on a road trip. Their vehicle was found abandoned. Their bodies were discovered later. 2 more people dead. Police were now looking at multiple cases with no obvious connection, no common thread, no suspect. The community was scared, but no one was looking at the popular teenager with the hockey scholarship. No one ever looked at Cody. The 4th victim was Jed York, a 37-year-old man Cody had met through mutual connections. Jed was found in the same rural area, same brutal violence. At this point, 4 people were dead across a span of roughly 2 months. The RCMP was working multiple homicide investigations simultaneously. None of the victims knew each other. The only thing connecting them was geography, and one person who moved through all of those spaces without anyone looking twice. November 27th, 2009. An RCMP officer pulls over a truck on a rural highway late at night. Standard traffic stop. The driver is a young man, friendly, cooperative. He says his name is Cody Legebokoff. The officer notices blood on his clothing. Cody says he was out deer hunting. There are inconsistencies. The officer asks him to step out of the vehicle. More blood on his hands, on his jacket, on his boots. The story starts to fall apart. Officers follow Cody's route back along the highway. They find Jed York's body less than a mile away, still warm. Cody is placed under arrest. He doesn't run, he doesn't fight. He asks if he can call his parents. The arresting officers later said he seemed almost confused, like he genuinely didn't understand why this was happening, like he had never once considered that he might actually get caught. In the interrogation room, Cody sits calmly. He is polite. He answers questions in full sentences. He maintains eye contact. He doesn't display the kind of panic you'd expect from someone who has just committed murder. When investigators begin presenting evidence, he adjusts his story gradually, small admissions, one at a time, as if he's negotiating rather than confessing. He eventually admits to killing Jed York. Then the others. 4 people. Over 3 months. All while living a completely normal life. What came out in the confession was clinical in its detail. Cody described the killings without apparent remorse. He spoke about the victims in the same tone you'd use to describe a minor inconvenience. Investigators who worked the case said they had interviewed hundreds of suspects over their careers. Cody was different. Not because he was loud or threatening, because he wasn't. There was a flatness to him, a gap where something should have been. The trial was held in 2012. Cody was 20 years old by then. His defense attempted to raise questions about his mental state. The prosecution presented physical evidence, including DNA and blood trace evidence from his vehicle and clothing. The jury deliberated for less than 2 days, guilty on all 4 counts of first-degree murder. The judge sentenced him to life in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. He showed no visible reaction when the verdict was read. Fort St. John was permanently changed by what happened. The families of the victims had to rebuild their lives in a town that would never fully stop associating them with the case. Friends who had known Cody for years spent months going back through every conversation, every practice, every party, trying to find the moment they should have seen something. Most of them said they found nothing. That's not comfort. That's the opposite of comfort. Psychologists and criminologists who studied the case came to different conclusions. Some pointed to antisocial personality traits that had been successfully masked. Some pointed to a fundamental lack of empathy that had never been triggered into visibility. Some said the small-town environment created too much social pressure to conform, making Cody's external behavior a performance that was never stress-tested until it was too late. None of these explanations fully satisfy. None of them answer the real question. The real question isn't how he did it. The real question is what he was thinking in the moments between the murders and the hockey games, between the violence and the dinner table, between the blood and the smile. Was there guilt? Was there fear? Was there anything at all? The people who knew him best say there was never a moment, not one, where something felt wrong. That tells you more about this case than anything else. Cody Legebokoff is currently serving his sentence at a federal correctional facility in Canada. He would be eligible for parole review in 2034. The families of his victims live with what he did every day. Lacey Gall was 15. The McCanns were someone's parents. Jed York had people who loved him. 4 lives ended by someone who had every visible advantage, every reason to choose differently, and no explanation that holds. I don't know what was underneath the surface. I'm not sure anyone does. Stay in the dark with me.